Hi, and welcome to this edition of Gamelife, where you can get your dose of gaming goodness. Today on the show, I'll be reviewing Tetris DS.
I'm going to be reviewing World of Warcraft in our new computer corner. And we...
Hold on a minute. You guys forgot about me.
Well, I'm very sorry. I didn't know you were back in town. What were you up to?
I was in the city of Los Angeles helping Jack Bauer stop a few terrorist plots.
Well, we're glad you're okay. Are you going to tell everybody about this?
Oh yeah, definitely. Everyone here, and for you watching at home, are in for a very special treat. So, why don't we get started on this episode of Gamelife?
Tetris has been around for as long as I can remember. It was always fun just playing and seeing if you could beat your old score, but after so many years, you think that it wouldn't be as enjoyable. Well, it's all about to change with the newest iteration for the Nintendo DS. Find out why in my review.
If you've played Tetris before, then you know how it goes. If you haven't, you basically control some blocks that fall from the top. Your goal is to rotate and move the blocks to connect with other blocks that will fall. If you make a horizontal line without any spaces, the line disappears. The more you do this, the more points you get and the faster the blocks start coming, making for an intense time. That's basically the game right there, along with different modes like touch mode, catch mode, puzzle mode, the standard mode, mission mode, and the push mode. The game is pretty basic in its setup, so there isn't any need for flashy graphics, but they're still awesome. Every mode has a theme to it. The themes are all classic NES games that play on the background when you're playing the game. Tetris fans were extremely excited to hear that you could play against other gamers through Wi-Fi. You could play the standard 2-player mode, standard 4-player with items mode, and push mode. I haven't had a problem finding someone on the line to play with, so you won't find yourself waiting minutes to locate someone to play with, like you would with Mario Kart DS. I suggest practicing a bit before going on Wi-Fi in 4-player mode. I underestimated the other gamers and I lost within seconds. This is fun stuff though. You can also play with up to 10 people on wireless single card download play and wireless multi-card play. The music couldn't be better. The old Tetris music, Super Mario Bros. Music, Zelda, Metroid Balloon Fight, Ice Climbers, and more are featured in this game. You just can't beat old music remixed. The sound of hearing the block spin is just a good old classic sound. This game has a great selection of music, as well as the sound test. For the most part, the controller is very responsive. By pressing either the A or B buttons, you turn the block around. The downside to this is that you can turn the block around for an infinite number of times, which feels very cheap. In the touch mode, you use the stylus to drag the block around the playing field and tap the side of the block to rotate that piece around.
Many people will just pass on this game saying it isn't worth $30. If you've enjoyed any other version of Tetris, you'll definitely like this one. There's more than enough stuff in here to keep you busy. Even if you can't get on Wi-Fi and go against other people, you should still buy this game. With all that said, I give Tetris DS a 9.5 out of 10.
Things heat up on the Nintendo DS for Taito's Cooking Mama. By completing a series of recipe-oriented minigames, you'll make sukiyaki just like Mama used to. Jump into the shoes of Mama's little helper as she guides you step by step through her favorite recipes. Perform these steps correctly and Mama's eyes sparkle with pride. Fail and incur her demon wrath. The game begins with 15 recipes plus 61 more to unlock. Each recipe is made up of any number of individual mini-games, such as chopping onions, frying shrimp, or pounding meat. Let's take a look. Like WarioWare Touched and the Field of Magic series, Cooking Mama makes excellent use of the DS's unique capabilities. These minigames are all stylus controlled, and some even require that you blow into the mic. While there are a lot of recipes, some of the minigames repeat and become a bit redundant, much like the music, which stays the same throughout. There is no multiplayer, and the only real extra this game has is a one-recipe demo that you can send your friends via Wi-Fi. You probably won't see this game at EB anytime soon, but its simple layout makes it very import-friendly. Personally, I can boil udon and skewer pork all day long, so I think it's well worth the import price. I give it a 9. And now back to the Gamers Lounge.
Last episode, I became a guitar player and rocked out to some sweet tunes. This episode, I've decided to switch professions and become a bongo player with the help of the Donkey Kong Bongos for the Nintendo GameCube.
So, how did I learn to become such an astute bongo player? Well, in the game Donkey Konga, I had to drum on the bongos the correct way when the corresponding symbol comes up. When a red symbol comes up, I pound on the right drum. When a yellow symbol comes up, I pound on the left drum. When a pink symbol comes up, I pound on both drums. When the cog symbol appears, I get to use the built-in microphone capabilities by clapping my hands. My only real complaint about these bongos is that when you're playing with multiple people, their clapping will sometimes pick up on your bongos and cause you to mess up. However, this can be fixed by going into the options menu and adjusting the mic sensitivity. These bongos are very well designed, and they look like they've been taken straight out of a Donkey Kong game. These well-designed bongos are a great way to burn off some steam after a long day of work or school. However, there's just not enough content in the 3 games available to warrant a purchase of these bongos.
These bongos are very responsive and are a joy to play with, especially with 3 of your friends. However, the 3 games that are supported by the successor in the States are short and disappointing. For the price and for the lack of game support, I would have to not recommend this device.
Hey everyone, I'm Spider-Man, and I'm going to be reviewing Ultimate Spider-Man for the PlayStation 2. Stay ready. Now in this game, you play as Peter Parker as a young child in the Ultimate Spider-Man universe. In it, you fight crime and your arch-rival, Venom. The controls are fairly simple, though dumbed down from Spider-Man 2. And if you're a fan of the Ultimate Saga, you'll be a fan of this game. If you're like me, you're old-fashioned, prefer Amazing Spider-Man, and the story is just kind of stupid to you. The story is extremely short. You can probably wrap it up in one sitting. Afterwards, you do have some things to keep you busy, such as beating up bad guys. Or maybe even beating up bad guys. Fairly simple, as I just said. There's not much to the game after you beat the story. If you try to take out everything that you have to do, you're able to unlock the black costume. But by that time, you're extremely tired of the game and don't want to play it anymore. Then again, you're playing as me. You can never get tired of playing as me. So, in a nutshell, Ultimate Spider-Man for the PlayStation 2, while the story lasts, is quite worth the money paid for. But after that, you get bored easily. At this point, it's fairly cheap, probably worth the buy. On a scale of 10, I give it an 8.72. Back to you.
Welcome to the new Computer Corner section of the Gamers Lounge, where I'm about to review World of Warcraft, a game that was released in late 2004. This game is a massively multiplayer online role-playing game, or MMORPG, that is very accessible for newcomers and for hardcore MMO fans alike. So, with that said, let's take a deeper look at this game.
Let's start off by exploring the storyline. The main idea behind this story is that two sides, the Alliance, or the heroes, and the Horde, or the villains, are at war with each other. So that's the basic story plot that you need to know. Now before I go any further into the game, it is important to note that an internet connection is required to play this game. You also need to make a monthly commitment of around $15 per month in order to play, which seems like a little too much to pay for a game that has constant server problems and wait times or queues to get on during the weekends. On the other hand, Blizzard constantly adds new content to the game, which adds even more replayability than the game already has. The first thing you want to do when you log on to World of Warcraft, or WoW as I'm going to call it from now on, is to pick which type of server or realm that you want to play in. Each realm type has its own distinct way of playing, so you want to explore all four. Now after you pick your realm type, you get to pick your character. You can become part of either the Horde or the Alliance. Each side consists of 4 different races, such as Night Elves and Taurens, and 6 different classes, such as Hunters and Shaman. You can then customize your character to look different than the others in the game. Since the Horde and Alliance are on different sides, you are missing out on one side of the game if you do not become the opposite side, and that adds an enormous amount of replayability to the game. So now that you've set up a character, let's get into the game. Basically, how the game works is that you are put into a world full of other people. In the first part of the game, you are trying to level up your character and make them stronger. This is usually done by completing various tasks, such as killing a certain amount of a creature. There are many items in this game as well, and each race and class can only use specific items. This adds a lot of replayability, because in order to experience all the items, you must create another character and play as them. However, there are some downfalls to this game, including the fact that it sometimes takes a long time to walk from one destination to the other. This is helped by a mount, or animal you ride, later in the game, but it comes really after you need the help. Also, as you can probably tell, there are many acronyms in this game that can scare newbies away. However, if you play with your friends and have them help you through these downfalls and teach you how to play, it is much more fun and creates an interesting way to play this game, especially in college dorms like I'm doing right now. Perhaps the most annoying aspect of the game is that when you die, you have to find your body while you are a ghost, and this can be an extremely tedious process because you are placed so far away from your body at times. However, what makes up for this are the professions that you can learn and the dungeons you can explore with a group of people. These two aspects of the game, and how big the overall world of Azeroth is, make the game well worth playing. The graphics in WoW are a sight to see. The attention to detail in this game is stunning. Each item you put on your character alters your appearance according to what you are wearing. So, each and every person who is playing has a different appearance, since there are many items. However, the controls in this game do take a little time to get used to, but you can customize a lot of options to suit your needs. Plus, there's a tutorial at the beginning of the game that explains some aspects of controlling and playing the game. The sound effects in this game can get very repetitive, especially if you are fighting creatures most of the time. However, when in towns and different parts of the game, the ambiance will make you want to turn your speakers up and keep them there. The music is a pleasant classical style that fits the game very well.
Overall, I think World of Warcraft is a great game with some major flaws. If it weren't for some server problems, the frustrating times when you get killed, and the long distance excursions that seem to last forever, this game would have gotten a perfect score. However, because of these and other minor flaws, this game is gonna get a 9 out of 10.
Well, I'm back, and this time I will be reviewing 24 the game for the PlayStation 2. 24 the game is based off of the hit TV show, and usually, as we all know, TV shows don't make such good games. This is certainly no exception. Stay tuned for my review and find out why.
Once again, the city of Los Angeles is under attack. It is your job as Federal Agent Jack Bauer to find the terrorists and prevent these attacks from even happening. If you are familiar with the 24 universe, then you should know that there are more obstacles you need to overcome, such as preventing the assassination of a high political figure. If you do not know anything about the show's first 3 seasons, then I would recommend going back and getting caught up, because that will be crucial in the story mode of this game. The background music in the game is marvelous. It is composed by Sean Callery, the same guy that composes it for the TV show. The voice acting is also very well done for the most part. You got the likes of Dennis Haysbert, Kiefer Sutherland, Alicia Cuthbert, Rachel Ellsworth, and Carlos Bernard lending their voices to the game. This definitely helps authenticate a 24 game. The gameplay aspect of 24 the game is what really holds this game back from being a good game. In the third-person shooting mode, you have the camera. The camera will always adjust itself back to a uncomfortable position, no matter how much you go and adjust it yourself. Other than that, I do find the shooting mode a pleasant surprise. However, one thing I do not like is the driving. The responses to the controller input are delayed, meaning that you will have to go and predict which way you are going to have to steer. Otherwise, you will crash and cars will pile up, as you can see. The minigame aspect of the game is probably one of my favorites. You do have your bomb diffusion, which is fairly simple, and of course, one of my favorite minigames here is the interrogation. It is always fun to go and watch Jack Bauer interrogate someone on the show with a gun pointed to their head. Your objective is to go and use the triangle, square, and X and get the meter inside the little lighted box. One thing that I love about this game is the replay value. Even if you do not like this game, you just may be tempted enough to go and play it over and over. Because in order to unlock all the bonus features, you must get a 90% on every mission. And this can be very challenging, especially in some cases.
Even though 24 the game has its flaws, the story mode, the sound, and the voice acting are all marvelous. However, the graphics, the gameplay, and virtually every other aspect of the game falls flat. If you are a 24 fan, I would definitely recommend to go out and rent it at least. However, this is not for any casual gamer. You would really need to know the story of Seasons 2 and 3 very well. So, I will be giving this game a 7 out of 10.
Yo, this is Jeff Mendocino. This is part of Gamelife, bitches. I am ready. I am so pumped for this. We just got Pump It Up Zero, and this is the first time I played it, even though I shouldn't be making a review about it. Let's go inside. Come on.
So guys, this is Pump It Up Zero's review. Pump It Up Zero is a very, very vast improvement over the latest Pump series.
The point of Pump It Up is to dance. As the arrows come up, you have to touch them with your feet. So when the center arrow comes up, you have to press it with your foot. See, I'm pressing with my foot, and it's activating the note. If we activate the note, that means that the arrow will come on screen and it will work perfectly.
Hey guys, check it out. This is the Gamers Lounge Part 2. Anyways, what we have right here is the Pump It Up official website. Now if you can see here, there are many new features in Pump It Up Zero. New thing would be a reward system. That means that throughout playing for a long while, you get unlockable stuff, which is kind of really stupid anyways, because, I mean, like, I don't want to unlock anything. I want it all there already, and it's stupid there. But we have a mission system. Now, mission system is intended for, you know, having about 10 people on the dance pad at once. Meaning it's really hard, and it makes me mad, and I don't want to play it very much. Mission mode. I don't like mission mode that much. It's not a very consumptuous thing. It's peripheral, it's not part of my demands. Lyrical.
Pump It Up Zero is best known for their freestyles. Freestyles are very well choreographed, and you can do anything you'd like out of it. It would be great to watch many freestyles, such as
I'm all out of faith, this is how I feel. I'm cold and I am shamed, lying naked on the floor. Illusion never changed into something real. I'm wide awake and I can see the perfect sky is gone. You're a little late, I'm already torn. I thought I saw a man brought to life. He was warm, he came around like he was dignified. He showed me what it was to cry. Well, you couldn't be that man I adored. You don't seem to know, seem to care what your heart is for. But I don't know him anymore. There's nothing where he used to lie. Conversation has run dry.
Pump It Up Zero does lack new songs, but new songs are very good. However, with the over 100 songs, I think you should be happy. I think you should be satisfied unless, you know, you're just not satisfied at all with life. What I give this game is a 8 out of 10.
Well, that about does it for this episode of Gamelife. Tune in next time when we recap what happened to this year's E3. All that and more next time.